All around us in the past few days are increasingly blatant examples of the attitude of the powerful towards freedom, specifically freedom of speech. It's my contention that while the actions we see are intimidating, they also crucially reveal the clumsy ineptness, the laziness of those who would rule, in that the methods employed now lack even the merest hint of sophistication. Those with the will and the intention and the desire to govern are revealed by every word and deed as profoundly limited people.
And I think the dislike of and anguish over social media is just growing and growing and growing. And it's part of our problem, particularly in democracies, in terms of building consensus around any issue. It's really hard to govern today. You can't, there's no, the referees we used to have to determine what's a fact and what isn't a fact are kind of, been eviscerated to a certain degree. And people go, and that people self-select where they go for their news or for their information. And then you just get into a vicious cycle.
John Kerry, talking there, amongst friends, so to speak, feeling comfortable amongst his own kind. Kerry, if you don't know, sometime presidential candidate for the Democratic Party, more recently Joe Biden's climate czar, but in any event, a man who's been close to the centre of power for decades. Now, you heard him talk there about people self-selecting the sources of information like it's a bad thing. Good God, are those people hearing stuff other than what we're saying, other than the stuff we want them to think? Seems to be the implicit. He talks about how people self-selecting their information make it hard to build consensus. Right? Now, by which he means how it's hard now for people like him, for people like them in the World Economic Forum and other fora like it. It's hard to get everyone to believe what the state wants them to believe. Like you and me, how all these free-thinking, free-speaking people make it hard for the so-called self-appointed elite to govern. By which he means, what he means by that is the freedom to tell everyone what to do and when, without fear of any voice raised in opposition. He said,
there's a lot of discussion now about how you curb those entities in order to guarantee that you're going to have some accountability on facts, etc. But look, if people go to only one source and the source they go to is sick and has an agenda and they're putting out disinformation, our First Amendment stands as a major block to the ability to be able to just hammer it out of existence. So what we need is to win the ground, win the right to govern.
He's saying this out loud to an audience in company of the sort of people that he approves of, but it's in the public domain, and he knows that. This is George Orwell stuff. They're in the company of like minds. He's calling the First Amendment a major block to getting his way. I can't hear James Madison's First Amendment often enough because it's so cleverly, it's so sensitively and knowingly worded. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. With those words ringing in your ears, let's not forget New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern at the height of the so-called pandemic, when she said,
"We will continue to be your single source of truth."
That the there being her government. Single source of truth. Anything else is just rumour, if not downright lies. We, the government, will be your single source of truth. Since when? But look at what has come out of these single state sources of information. The likes of John Kerry predicting all sorts about the climate that never came to pass. Unfounded claims, if not downright lies, about the so-called vaccines being safe and effective, when the officials saying as much absolutely knew the jabs would not stop transmission and wouldn't stop you getting ill. And then, the likes of, what else we had? The likes of Russiagate from Hillary Clinton, lies about Trump that she still pushes, even though they've been proven to be lies and propaganda. She still repeats it now. The scores of officials from the US intelligence community who got up on their hind legs and testified that the Hunter Biden laptop was a fake, that it was nothing but Russian propaganda. The Hunter Biden laptop was subsequently proven to